MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 4, Part 2. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter that keeps you up with everything MacVoices is doing. From our published episodes to Chuck's other appearances to special events and more, subscribe at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay fully informed so you don't miss a thing. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is part 2 of MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 4. You might think the picking is getting a little slim at this point, but our crew is up to the task. Let's go back and let the panel do the picking. Wally, what do you have for round 3?
Something very small, something small enough to fit in a stocking. So over the years, I have accumulated, I don't know how many, a stash of micro SD cards that I've used in my camcorders, in my GoPros, and other devices. Now, these little micro SD cards are not expensive, and you can get them in decent sizes. These days, though, a lot of my cards are sitting idle in my camera bags, so I thought, wouldn't it be great to get them back into circulation? And that's where this little device comes in. It's a Type-C micro SD card reader with USB 3. Okay, all you do is you pop in your spare micro SD card, and you have, all of a sudden, a useful flash drive. This particular card, 200 gigabyte card that I used to have in my camcorder, it's now a 200 gigabyte flash drive, all for the princely sum of, do my dollar conversion, maybe $15, which is cheap for a flash drive at the best of times. But I load one up with my own movies and videos when I travel, and I like to watch them on my iPad mini on the plane. And you can also use it to back up your photos and videos that you shoot when you're on the road. And it's a great thing to use for micro SD cards you already have in a drawer, or you can get some new ones, big sizes, and you can have expandable storage in this one tiny little thing. So for $15, you can't go wrong, particularly if you have a lot of those micro SD cards sitting around.
200 gigs for $15. I mean...
Well, no, sorry. That's the thing. You need to get your own micro SD card. Yeah, but if you have one already, which I did, then it's $15 for a big flash drive. Yeah. We all must have those micro SD cards around somewhere in cameras and everywhere else. So.
Oh yeah. Brian,
don't let them go. I'm sure there's a bunch of them here.
Yeah.
I say if a flash drive, that you normally have becomes corrupt and you can't use it anymore, here you have this device that if your micro SD card wears out, well, you can switch it out.
Very good point, Brian. Good point.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, Bart.
Right. This is, strangely enough, going to be my most expensive pick, and it's my lowest tech pick. And it just, I don't know why, I was thinking of what will I talk to Chuck about, and I just realized that I have been using the same pen, as in a traditional pen, and I know how long I've been using it because it's engraved. It says, Cavan Vocational School Prefect, 96-97. I got this pen for being a prefect in my high school. It is a cross. AT Cross is the company. It is their Century Classic, and they still make it. And I love them so much that I actually have them everywhere. So I have this, which is the same pen, only with a little shamrock on it from Aer Lingus, from their in-flight catalogue. I have them everywhere. They use refills, so you can continue to buy the refills forever. And like I say, since 1996, I have had a cross-century classic. I would write with nothing else. And I kind of surprise myself that it's been that long. But that is how long I've been in love with these pens. And like I say, my home office has one. I have one in my bedroom office. I have 2 home offices. I have one in my office. I have one in my backpack. I have these cross pens everywhere, and they do not break. Occasionally, people steal them because they're lovely. I have only ever lost them to theft. I have never lost one to it wearing out or to it breaking. And I think they're beautiful in the hand. They're just a nice solid piece of tech. And they just keep going forever. And as long as they keep making the same shape of refill, which they've been doing for 20 years, so I don't see why they'll stop now, you can continue to enjoy your AT Cross pens ad infinitum.
Great.
Now, Bart, do you have as many cross pens as you have watch bands?
No.
No. Well,
I need a bigger pencil case.
Yes, I think you need to get going and get a bigger pencil case.
I'd love.
Well, they're 84. Sorry, yeah, I meant to say they're $84 a piece, so they're more expensive than Apple Watch bands as well. But if you can write with something for 2 decades, that $84 isn't such a bad price.
And we're back to the value discussion.
Thank you, Bart. You have inspired me because I'm sure I have a cross pen or 2 or 3 in a drawer somewhere that I have forgotten about. So I must do a spring cleaning and see if I can find one again. Thank you.
Dig them up, and I promise you they will still sell you whatever refill they need, because they only make a few different sizes of refill, and they don't change them, which is great. So just buy a new refill and you have a new pen.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Brian, this is round 3.
Excellent. So round 3, I'm going to let you guys know about a product that I found very, very useful that I've been using probably for at least the last 7 months. And it's an Apple Watch charger, pretty basic. And what it is, a couple things that make it so great is the keychain that you can put it right on, a set of keys, very easy to carry around. I always, whenever I travel, it's with me. And I also use it on a daily basis as well. For those of us who may not have jumped into the latest Apple Watch that were maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 models year old, those batteries start to wear out a little bit. And what used to last you maybe the entire day, where you can charge it in the evening or overnight, sometimes it just doesn't get you that full capacity that you were used to. And having an Apple Watch charger that you can take with you on the road to be able to charge at any time is fantastic. The particular one that I was sharing is actually only $16.50. It's 1,000 milliamp hours and charges with USB-C. So I found it extremely valuable. I know there's different competitors out there that do similar things, but an Apple Watch charger is an incredibly great gift. To be able to charge your watch on the go, for especially something that, you think about, how more accessible USB-C or Lightning might be to plug in, but specifically you're looking at, how do I charge my watch? And so something like that is very valuable.
Good. Yeah. I like it. It's for
especially
$16.
If you're traveling or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can almost just keep that in the car.
Good pick, Brian. Actually, I have one in my travel kit as well, and I found it to be very, very useful.
It just cost me money, I think, I'm afraid to say. I need one for my travel kit. Well, no, if you think about it, I have a good battery to charge up my other devices, but the Apple Watch has always been that difficult one because you can't plug it in. Whereas that looks like different. A peripheral device. It's not too big.
No, very, very slim. About the size of maybe something that maybe you're unlocking your car, with about that size. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good pick.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to go big for the third round pick.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to go big because this is something I've picked for a number of years, and it just never gets old as far as I'm concerned. And you can see them right now behind me. That is the Audioengine A5 Pluses. Those white speakers that are up on the stands. These sound absolutely phenomenal. They're not the cheapest speakers you're ever going to find. They're certainly not the most expensive. But I tell you, what they do for Apple Music is just phenomenal. And I'm spending more and more time now that I'm a remote worker and working strictly from home. I have a lot more opportunity to just put some music on while I'm working. And I'm not exactly a music snob, but I also appreciate and enjoy, really good high quality sound. And these deliver it. I think some of the best things about these, though, are you can hardwire them, or they also come with Bluetooth as well. So and that means you can connect multiple sources to them, and then just whichever source you're playing will play through them. And they are not light, so you want to make sure you get some speaker stands. I recommended that set of speaker stands at a previous gift guide. So make sure that you buy something that can handle them weight-wise, but they just don't. It just doesn't get any better than this. I really was a little bit skeptical about the white case, and then I got it, and I love it because it's such a nice stark, as opposed to the speakers and tweeters themselves. It's just a great look and a great design. So, top to bottom, the Audioengine A5 Pluses, go check them out at Audioengine. I'll put them up against pretty much anything else, and including, as much as I like them, including HomePods.
How much of a dent do they make in the wallet?
Bart, you know what? I'm afraid to say I think they're $350, but don't hold me to that.
Oh, okay.
Simply because it's been so long. I've had these things, it seems like now forever. I mean, it's been years, and I have not regretted the investment. The really interesting thing, as much as all the other gear gets swapped out and upgraded, I've never been tempted to upgrade these or change them out.
Testament to its quality.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not even if you're out by $50, either way, that's still price competitive with your HomePods and so forth. So that's actually not a bad price at all.
No. And again, take that. Whatever we have up on the screen is what you will want to pay attention to. And if you're doing conversions like Wally is, it may be a little bit different too. But the value is there. Don't think I've had them quite as long as Bart's pens, but probably close. All right, gentlemen. So this makes round number 4. So
number 4.
Hopefully you've either saved your best for last or saved something really good for last. Wally, what are you going to wrap up with?
We shall see. We'll let the panel decide. I'm going to finish off with another travel accessory. And again, I think it fills a practical niche for me, at least. So over the years, I can't tell you how many backpacks, sling bags, fanny packs, and kit bags I have tried. And, I never seem to find just the right one. I want something that I can pack in my luggage that isn't too bulky and not too big. And then when I go out for a day, I want to bring it out and put in there all the stuff I want to take. My iPhone, maybe a camera, this and that, wallet, etc., on and on and on, a raincoat, an umbrella, etc. But I haven't found the right thing. Some are too bulky. You can't pack them easily. Others hold a lot of stuff, but you can't always get at it. And that's the key. You can't get at it. So if it's a backpack, I've got a lot of great backpacks. Problem is, to get at stuff in your backpack, you've got to take your backpack off, and then you reach in there and you rummage and you pull something out. So for me, it's a never-ending quest to find the right Daypack to hold my stuff. So I thought, maybe there's a better way. And I started looking at Daypacks that you carry in front of you, not behind you. And here's my latest candidate. I got to move back a bit so I can get it all in. Nothing really special, but the one I want to point out is this one is versatile because it acts either as something you can wear on the side, left or right, and it has a detachable strap that you can flip over. But the best thing is you can put it on and wear it in front of you. So when you want to get at something, it's right there. You can open it up and see things. It has water bottle pockets on each side. Inside, wow, there's dividers, pockets. You can fit everything you want in there. And to top it off, there's a little RFID signal blocking pocket in the back. If you have something with sensitive data, maybe your passport, something like that, you can put it in there. So for the princely sum of, I don't know how much, $25 or something like that, I took this one on my last trip, and maybe it's not perfect, but I really think I'm getting close with this one because I took it out on day trips and everything I wanted was in there. It wasn't too heavy. It had room for stuff. It was light. Close enough. So anyway, this is not necessarily the best of breed, but if you have a look at the link, you'll get the idea. Buy a backpack that you can wear in the front. Plus, it's more secure. If it's on the back, you're kind of vulnerable sometimes. Somebody comes up behind you. You have it on the front. Everything's there for you. So that's my last pick.
I think you did save the best for last, Wally. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I've seen the
and
bigger.
you got to have somewhere to put your other great picks.
What?
There you go. But they're so small. They're really easy to put in here.
Yeah. I've seen the DSLR bags that, you know, the pro photographers will sling around and can open, but of course those are big and bulky because they house DSLRs. That looks like something that is not. You could make it big and bulky if you needed to, but it doesn't have to be. So I like it.
Of course, as a videographer, I used to travel with big bags, and they had to be big to carry your camcorder and all of the stuff. So after a while, that gets a little bit heavy, and it's just not fun to lug around anymore. And at some stage, I remember talking about this with Bart when we chatted on his show. I decided, hey, I think I'm going to go with the iPhone from now on. And the iPhone and its accessories are much smaller. They're much lighter. And you can put your whole kit into something like this and have everything you need with you. Maybe the quality isn't quite the same as a camcorder or a DSLR, but you know, with 4K video and some of the new features in the latest 14 and 15 model phone, you're getting fantastic results. So yeah, smaller and lighter is good.
Agreed.
I imagine it's good for your back too.
It is.
Yeah, doesn't hurt. But then your heart rate wouldn't show up on Bart's monitor. So we're tying everything together.
Yeah,
I like it, Chuck. This is good segues.
Okay, so Bart, I don't have that wasn't exactly a segue, I don't think, into your last pick, but I tried.
Not quite. So it's now 1:05 in the morning, and I'm still bouncy and bubbly. How is that possible? Well, of course, it wouldn't be a set of Bart holiday picks without something to do with coffee. Because like every true nerd, I am a machine for turning caffeine into code. So my darling beloved discovered the joys of cold brew coffee, and I am so happy that he is spending his time and effort on this. And initially we bought a more expensive, more tricky kit, and it broke. And we discovered that we should have spent less money for a simpler kit, and we would have had nicer coffee all along. So the pick I have is what we've ended up settling on as our cold brew maker. It's from a company called Willow and Everett, and it's 100% reusable, so there's no disposable parts. You grind your coffee nice and coarse so that it's not too small. You fill up the little holder, you slot it into this container, you leave it overnight. The next morning, you take the coffee grains out, and you now have a sealed airtight container for your cold brew coffee that will keep for, they say, up to 14 days because it's airtight. And it has a tap on it, like as if it was a keg of beer. And whenever you want a nice cup of coffee, you open the tap, you fill yourself up a quarter of how much you want of cold brew, and then you top it up with boiling water, and you have the nicest coffee you could ever imagine. Because the cold brew takes out the sweetness of the coffee, it takes out pretty much all the flavors of the coffee, except the bitter. I drink it black. I wouldn't dream of putting sugar into it. There's absolutely no need. And it doesn't need a creamer or anything like that either. And it is so tasty. And then that once a year when it's actually sunny in Ireland, it makes great iced coffee as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more of an iced coffee person, but
yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into this. I like the idea of being able to do my own and do it easily and have that much for that long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like the overnight oats of coffee. So, and at this stage, we basically get a week out of it. So on Sunday evening, the cold brew will be prepared. And then when it comes to getting ready for work or college on Monday morning, it's ready for us. And, I've basically filled the bottom of my insulated mug before I leave for work. And then in work, I just go to the coffee, to the hot water and just fill it up with hot water. And I have amazing coffee that everyone's jealous of. Perfect.
I like it.
And it lowers your blood pressure to boot. No, it doesn't.
Well, it might lower mine because if I'm in withdrawal, they're getting my hit of caffeine.
We're back to the heart rate monitor part somehow.
We are, but you have to have a vice, and I'd rather have coffee than alcohol or anything else. So as vices go, I think it's not a bad one. It's organic. It's fair trade.
Good point.
Fair trade vice. Yeah, something I would love to try. You've made me curious.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, a whopping £21. There's another currency, which is we're up to 5 currencies now. There's only 4 of us on the panel. This one is £21 sterling.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, this is the end of your debut in the gift guide. So how are you going to wrap us up?
All right, so I'm going back in the same vein as when in one of my earlier picks, something that's extremely useful for both folks who have been using Apple products for a while, as well as newcomers, and that are the amazing resources available from the Take Control series. And there are so many valuable things that you can pick up by having a guide right next to you. Having the way I like to use it, for example, is having, when I think of Take Control of, say, Sonoma, using the operating system for the Mac, is having on one screen the book, on the other screen utilizing what they're telling me and teaching me what to do, and being able to go almost like step by step and really getting in-depth understanding of what's going on. And then thinking about my family members who are jumping over and using iOS for the first time ever. And, we had talked over FaceTime and been able to say, look at all these features and this, that, and the other. But when you're explaining it to somebody of a product that you've used for a while, even though it's a newer operating system, the way that you intuitively may use it may not be the best approach for somebody who's a newcomer. And having that guide for them to be able to utilize, so step by step, they understand the hows and whys and whats of using those new products and the new operating system and new hardware, things of that nature, is extremely valuable. So specifically the Take Control iOS 17 and iPad OS 17, as well as the Take Control of Sonoma, each of them sell for about $15 US and extremely valuable, well worth that amount of money.
Anybody that watches Mac Voices knows I agree with you 100%. That's one of the reasons that I try to get every single Take Control book author on and interview them about their books, because they are so methodical and so detailed and so dedicated to not just slapping something together over a weekend, but to really digging in and not only just doing the books initially right the first time, but also keeping them up to date with their subsequent editions so that they remain valuable. So I can't agree more. Can't agree more.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
the absolute
so-
cream of the crop when it comes to these things, isn't it? Like the take control guys, they don't do it by half.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that passion really shines through.
Yeah. And they don't mind calling Apple out when something isn't as good as it should be or could be. And so that's something I really respect, that yes, they're all Apple enthusiasts to one degree or another, but they will point out that, hey, this doesn't work, or this doesn't work the way you think or should. So, okay, so I'm going to wrap up again with something that it cost me money, but and it may cost you money. I'm not sure, but it's another thing that you can see behind me. When I redid my office this year, I wanted to get the monitors up off the desk and onto some gas mount arms. And I purchased a number of them and kept returning them because they, for one reason or another, they either didn't go up far enough, they didn't stay up, they didn't angle or tilt, they didn't articulate properly. And I finally settled, and I want to make sure I get it right, on the Mount Pro single monitor mount stands. These are adjustable height. They go cocked from side to side. They'll go up and down. There is an articulating arm back there so that you can fold it back in a short depth or pull it out to be a lot closer to you. This is just the best value I found for these arms. In fact, there are 3 of them back there now. As soon as I found the one I wanted, then added a second one. It's like, yeah, this is really, really good. So I would encourage you, your situation may be different. Try it out. But I think these handle up to 17 pounds worth of monitor on each one. And they are adjustable in every direction you can think of. So if you haven't experienced VESA mounts yet, this is a great place to start with the Mount Pros. So, and as you can tell, I'm a little monitor happy at the moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous, Chuck, of your monitor happiness.
Bart, I've come to believe that, and this is kind of flip, but I think it's accurate. The more screen real estate you have, the more productive you can be, because I can dedicate one screen to one thing, one to another, and these are 4K monitors. So that's a ridiculous amount of screen real estate to have up there and be able to have things. I always believed that we would never get to the paperless office until our monitors became the size of our desks. And now with 4K monitors, you've got it. So I was ahead of my time. Nobody believed it.
I mean, why were our desks as big as they were? Because that's how much space it takes for us to be productive. And we still need that same amount of space. I will often describe a setup as being cramped because I actually feel cramped if I don't have enough screen real estate, because it's as if you're trying to make me work on too small of a physical desk. So I do have VESA mounts, but I'm only moderately happy with them. So I have a horrible feeling you're going to cost me money, Chuck.
Bart, get it and try it, because again, and frankly, I bought some that were from names that you would recognize, and every single one of them disappointed me. So if these are right for you, then
the arm I have is in theory great, but if I adjust it enough that it doesn't fall down, it's too stiff to move. And if I loosen it that it's loose enough to move, I come in the morning to find my monitor drooping on my desk.
Yeah.
And I don't want either of those things, so I've ended up using my supposedly movable arms completely static by basically putting it in a mostly okay position and tightening the crap out of it, and that defeats the purpose of these arms. So yeah, I think.
But I'll tell you what, Bart. Funny you should say that, because I originally thought I'd be moving these around and doing all kind of things with them, and I found once I got the optimum spot, I really didn't move them that often. So it's a double-edged sword. I like the ability to move them, but I don't, because I've found what works for me.
Well, so I have the one desk that I use for working from home and for my podcasting and stuff, but I have to have 2 computers. And so it would actually be nice if I want all of my desk space for work to just push the other stuff out of the way. Whereas right now, as I say, I'm kind of afraid to. So
Yeah.
no, cool.
Understood.
Definitely give them a go.
I think everybody cost everybody else some money here tonight, which is probably the way it
Good.
should be. Yeah, exactly.
Chuck, you should do one of those thermometers that keeps growing and growing the more money you spend, and put it on the gift guide, and we'll see by December how high it's gone.
No, Wally, I don't want to know. I guess not. I just try to pay the credit card and pretend it didn't happen. Guys, thank you. This was
problem, Chuck.
Yeah, exactly. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for taking the time, and Bart, especially for you for staying up till this ungodly hour of the morning. More coffee, please.
Do you know something, Chuck? I actually discovered I had a day's annual leave I didn't know I had, so I actually have the morning off.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, then you can sleep in.
And if you're too tired, I heard there's this cold brew coffee maker.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fine.
I want to go around and let everyone know where they can contact you or what you do. So if they want to argue or discuss your gift picks with you, they can. So we'll just, again, keep the same order. Wally, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Tune back in for the holiday gift guide about a year from now, and you will see me, hopefully. No, actually, the best place to see some of my stuff and some of my older stuff is my YouTube channel. I haven't put a lot of recent things up there, but I'm about to. So just look for my name, search for it in YouTube, and you'll pop over to my YouTube channel. It has a lot of archival stuff, video we used to shoot, Chuck and I and others at Macworld when it was going strong, the Macworld All-Star Band, a 28-song performance back in the last year of its existence, and other fun stuff too. So that's probably the best place. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, those were good times, no question. Thanks for being here, Wally. Happy holidays.
My pleasure, Chuck.
Bart Busschots, thank you so much for staying up late. It's always a pleasure. We just got to figure out a way to get our schedules together so we can chat more. But until then, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Well, you can listen to my podcast at less-talk.ie. I do 2 monthly shows, one on the art and craft of photography. It really could be anything, and sometimes it's an interview, like Wally was nice enough to be my guest at one time. Sometimes it's me blathering on about stuff. It could be anything, but the basic rule is it's about the art and craft of photography. It's not a gear show. It's not about whether this Tamron lens is better than that Sigma lens. It is about the art and craft of photography. And then I do a Mac show once a month, where the idea is to zoom out, to have a look at a whole month's worth of Apple news and look at the really big picture. I sort of say I'm the opposite of macOS Ken. Ken zooms into every tree in the forest once a day, and I show up once a month and I describe the forest to you. And that's Let's Talk Apple. So let's-talk.ie.
Great. Bart, I always learn something, especially from the photography podcast. I always learn something. So thank you for doing it.
Thanks, Joe. My pleasure. It's nice to know someone's listening.
Yeah, that one download, that's me, right? Brian, thanks so much. I know folks can see you on MacVoices Live on Tuesday nights, but where else can they connect with you?
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate being here, and this was awesome. So, and it was nice chatting with everybody, sharing and learning about some amazing gadgets to pick up. As far as reaching me, probably Mastodon's the best route. Brian8944 at mastodon.cloud. So love to chat with you.
Great. Thanks so much, Brian. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to you all.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices Live. This is not MacVoices Live. This is the MacVoices Gift Guide. This is number 4. Oh, I apparently have stayed up too late, too. We will have more gift guides going forward because even though the gifts are getting tougher to pick, every one of our panels seems to come up with something else, and usually it costs me money. Until the next time. Oh, I almost forgot. Of course, all the links in the show notes will be in the show notes, so you can go right to them. And also, we publish them in our Flipboard magazine, the 2023 MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide Flipboard magazine, and you can get the link to that in the show notes as well. But also, if you just go into the Flipboard app and search for it, you'll find it there. And that's really the best place to consume it because it's more like an old-fashioned gift catalog that you can just flip through with your finger. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices each month. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.